Hello. Welcome back. My name is Ryan Milkey. Welcome back to my channel. So I have locked my dungeon. I've been down to the dungeon, and I've locked my dragons away. And I'm ready to go there and back again to Middle-earth with the Rings of Power. So before Bilbo outriddled Gollum, and before Frodo fell with a burning ring of fire, I've got this all written down because I'm no good remembering stuff, there was the Harfoots. There are three races in Middle-earth: humans, elves, and dwarves. And Sauron the Dark Lord made these magic rings for all of them, but in secret he forged one for himself. And that would control others, all the others making him the Lord of the Rings. So Rings of Power is going to be a huge and epic and grand proportion episodes. It's reported that Amazon spent $60 million per episode on this show, which is, two times as much as what was spent on the entire season of season 4 of Stranger Things. So just put that into perspective of how cool that show was in the last season that we got. And then they spent $60 million per episode in this one. Unbelievable. So let's just quickly check the chat. How is everybody doing? Andrew Weeble put his comment in earlier tonight, and he says, "Hey everybody, have a great live. I will watch on the rewind." Andrew, thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate you being here, and I will be turning this into a podcast, especially for yourself and anyone else that wants to listen to it instead of having to watch on YouTube. Hey LJ, thanks for being here, buddy. How you doing? Christina Payne, Baby Ice, hi guys. Everyone's in. Tilts Pops. What of it? Love it. How's everybody doing? Guys, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's Monday. I'm usually here talking about dragons, but as I say, I've locked them away. We're going to be talking about Rings of Power. So I have my breakdown co-host with me, as usual, Headless Ned Stark. I'll be dropping his link into here in a minute, or I'm sure if people just do the exclamation mark Headless, the bot should do it for you as well. So that's a lot easier. But without further ado, let's me bring on my wonderful guest for the evening. He's probably as clueless as I am, to be honest, because, hey, this is not dragons, as I've already said. Let's bring him on. So everybody, please welcome Headless Ned Stark.
What's up? Wait, so we're not breaking down episodes 1 and 2 of Game of Thrones season 1? Because I watched the wrong show then.
Oh, what, you watched Game of Thrones?
No, I'm just kidding, man.
I know.
This is interesting. It's a little different.
So we are going to take it back to the old school, like we did with the House of Dragon breakdowns. I don't have a slideshow purely because I didn't have enough time to do it. So we're going to just go off the notes on my phone. I have extensive notes for episode 1, and then we will just go into our thoughts and a little bit of breakdown of episode 2. If people enjoy this live stream tonight and enjoy the stuff that we're talking about and definitely are interested in this show and want to hear more from me and the breakdowns, then just let me know on DMs, IG, all that kind of stuff, and we'll continue to do it. I definitely want to keep watching it. I know that I've said on my live and on my stuff that I'm going to do it, so I'm going to be truthful to the things I've said in the past and keep to it, even if I'm probably not enjoying it as much as I thought I would. But I think it's just because I'm so involved in the House of the Dragon story and everything, and then I'm trying to fit in these new people. Like, I think I also have written down here that there will be 22 regular characters in this show, and I've got to remember all their names.
I'm still trying to figure out how to spell Galadriel and trying to say how to pronounce it. So I'm still
Galadriel. So it's Galadriel. Galadriel.
Galadriel.
That's it. Perfect.
Galadriel.
Yep. A Dead Zone just popped in. What up, Dead Zone? Smack the poop out of the like button, he says. Definitely, guys.
Galadriel.
Please like this stream. Galadriel. Well done.
Galadriel. All right.
So, guys, it is crazy. Who in the chat has seen Rings of Power, episode 1? Put a 1 in the chat if you have. Put a 0 in the chat if you haven't, please. There's 4 people watching right now. I'd be surprised to know who's seen it and who hasn't. I know you have, Headless. You watched it today?
Yeah, I just got done watching episodes 1 and 2 back to back. So,
initial thoughts quickly, what you thought of it?
Yeah, it's slow. I really enjoyed the first 15 minutes of the first episode. I like how it set it up, and then it started dragging. But you got to do that in episode 1 a little bit because you want to introduce the main characters. And I mean, we were introduced to at least it had to be at least 10 or 12 main characters, or at least 8 main characters and 4 side characters at this point. And then going into episode 2, I thought it did pick up a little bit, but I thought. Here's my biggest takeaway from episodes 1 and 2. I feel like the tone between episodes was so different. Like episode 1 was like very dark to me. Episode 2, when you introduced the dwarves, and I get it because the dwarves are like the comedy, like the comedians of Lord of the Rings for the most part. So I understand that was a little bit more of like it was almost like a buddy cop banter between Elrond and what's his name, Durin, I think.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was a little unbalanced, but the darkness did pick up a little bit in the second half of that episode after the dwarf encounters, I guess. But so I mean, overall, though, I mean, if I was not doing a live talking about the show, I would probably continue it anyways. So I mean, that's got to be good for something,
Yeah.
I mean,
I like that you said that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the one thing is, and you can tell. I mean, it looks beautiful. Like it's awesome to look at. Like CGI is amazing. The one dog that we didn't see too much of, but like it was cool looking. It was I was comparing that to like one of the direwolves in the early seasons of Game of Thrones. I mean, it looked a lot better. So, but yeah, I mean, so well, I'm gonna continue with it. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to continue with it, just for the visual aspect alone. If anything, if the storyline is even too confusing, I think it's definitely going to be one of those that I have to rewatch through once it's done to be able to understand what's going on and stuff. Because sometimes, I don't know, it's so confusing with flashbacks and jump forward and then present day stuff. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely jump back and forth. I mean, there's what? I guess right now I would say there's at least 4. Is it 3 or 4 main storylines heading into episode 3 that they kind of got going on right now, which is fine because I like those kind of shows. But again, it's just the introduction of all of these characters, which makes it hard in the beginning. So
yeah, we've got Rings of Power takes place during the second age of the Middle Earth.
Okay.
It sits in the middle of the Silmarillion, which covers the first age, and the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings, which takes place in the third age. So it's in the middle of what we have in the book, the Silmarillion, and then what comes before Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit and stuff. J.R.R. Tolkien only briefly touched on the second age in the last few pages found at the end of the book Return of the King. His son, however, Christopher Tolkien, would go on to expand his father's unpublished manuscripts about the second age in the book Shaping Middle-earth. So if there's any book readers out there and that's your jam, there's also going to be a new book coming out titled The Fall of Numenor. So the second age is roughly around 3,441 years long.
So is there no source material at all for this book or for this show?
Yeah.
So this is all based on a book still?
Yeah.
Like all the characters? Okay. I didn't know that.
There's canon characters and there's non-canon characters in this show.
Oh, okay. So they mix it up a little bit still.
Yeah, so as I was saying, the 3,441 roughly years is the second age. Amazon's 5-season story will probably condense this huge timeline just to highlight the major points, of course, because it's a 3,000-year age. So I don't know how, there's going to be a lot of time jumps and stuff like that, I think. So yeah, the show. What's the show about in my estimation? So I wrote down in my notes that it's the rise of Sauron, it's the forging of the Great Rings, and his seduction of the powerful human race of Numenor. We should see the creation of the Ring Wraiths, is what I also put, and we should also see the early wars between Sauron and the elves. And the One Ring will be created in this show. The One Ring being the one that Frodo carries around in Lord of the Rings.
Right. Yeah.
Aragorn in Lord of the Rings is a descendant of Numenor, as you've heard me say that word a few times. So he's a descendant of Numenor. Numenor is a star-shaped island off the coast of Middle-earth, and it's a super advanced city that houses the greatest of human kingdoms. and the people that come from there are of human-like, but they have the aging abilities of elves. So that's how Aragorn lasts longer than anyone around him, because he's from Numenor.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, just to give a little bit of backstory to all that kind of stuff and how it's connecting. The showrunners have also confirmed that there will be 22 regular cast members, so I'm going to have a lot of fun trying to remember all these names, as well as Aemon, Aegon, and Aemond, and Viserys and Dysert,
And Eric and
It's
Eric.
crazy. And Eric, yeah. So episode 1, Headless. So there was a time when the world was so young, there had not been a sunrise, but even still, there was light. That's the first thing we hear. And we find out that we see a young Galadriel as a child, but we are hearing Galadriel narrating as an adult. So, we're getting that already. The flashback is referenced as the years of the trees. I apologise to everybody if I do keep looking at my phone. I just have extensive notes, and it's so much to have written and remembered, so I do apologise. The Blessed Realm is lit by the light of the two trees before the existence of the sun and the moon. That's what we see in this first flashback. So how did you feel about going into this? Were you all super confused as to what was going
on? No, I mean, I kind of figured that the young girl was going to be the lead. I didn't even know her name going in. I knew it started with a G. I couldn't remember. So I know she's in Lord of the Rings as well. It's been a long time since I watched Lord of the Rings, but like I was saying earlier, I did like the first 15 minutes of it because it did make it. It made sense, and it makes you understand of where we're headed. So I mean, honestly, like the first 15 minutes was better than I thought. Like I actually was like, okay, I'm not on my phone, so that's good. I was I was actually trying to pay attention because I thought it was interesting. So I mean, I thought the first, it was better than I thought. Let's just put it that way. I really didn't think we were gonna get like that little shot of action in the storytelling at the beginning. I thought we were just going to kind of dive in and then like, okay, here's these characters and they're just telling us the stories. Now they ended up doing that, which you have to, you can't just. But so I think, I like the way it started though. Yeah, I don't want to say it dumbed it down because it definitely didn't dumb it down, but it made it so even a viewer of someone who like maybe didn't watch Lord of the Rings, you kind of pretty much know what was going on. I mean, Sauron, what is it? How do you pronounce it?
Sauron.
You could easily do a quick search and say, oh, he's the bad guy. Okay, makes sense. So, but
to catch up on chat a little bit. So I seen Simon Cook popped in. Hey, Simon. How you doing, buddy? We also got Anthony Blaze. Anthony. Good to see you, my friend. And Dead Zone left a nice message here. He says, glad to have Mr. Milky breaking it down. I appreciate that, Dead Zone. Thank you. I don't know how much helpful I'm going to be. I'm expecting you guys in the chat to help me out as well. So, I watched this. This has been out for about 2 months now. It's finished. It's all done. This first season. It's been out for about 2 months. I watched the first episode, I think in conjunction with the first episode of House of the Dragon. And then I made that conscious decision to just put it on the burner and be like, no, I can't watch that right now.
Yeah.
Remembering watching the first episode and then watching the first episode this week, I enjoyed the first episode the second time round a lot more.
Okay.
Didn't seem as slow. I think it was just because I had my mental brain was like, okay, Ryan, you're taking this in. Let's do it. But hey, so let's get into the episode. So we see Galadriel is making a paper boat and she is arguing with other elven kids whether it will sail or not. It does, and we end up seeing that it's a swan-shaped ship, which we will later see in the history of Middle-earth used by the elves quite a lot. So just from the very start there, we got foreshadowing for the future with the swan boat, which was cool. The other kids are jerks and they destroyed the boat. Galadriel gets into a fight, but just before it gets bad, it is broken up by her brother Finrod. He talks with his sister and gets her to see the difference between ships and stones and following the light, which is a very important conversation that comes back at the end of the episode 1. Galadriel asks, how do you know what light to follow? And we see Finrod whisper something to her that I'm guessing we won't find out for a while. How did you feel about that? How did you feel about like instantly being said, keep watching because there's something you'll find out later?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first off, it was nice not to see a clown pop out by the boat. That was, so that would have been a real twist, right? And then those mean kids would have got it. But Yeah, I thought it was really interesting that they started whispering right away. And for me personally, it actually brought me back to Twin Peaks because in the first episode when it came back on Showtime, that something very similar happened with two of the main characters, and you're like, wait, what did she say? And you literally don't find out till like the second last episode. But
Okay.
um, yeah, so right there, I'm like, no, we have to wait all the way to like next season or
Yeah.
season
Well,
two
there's
or
5 seasons. They've confirmed 5 seasons, so
yeah.
don't know when
But
we'll find it out. We don't even know what it is.
yeah, but I mean, we do end up finding out rather quickly what she said, but it does make you kind of think about, okay, so you want, that's a good way to make you stick around. So
Definitely. And then we hear Finrod say that he won't be around for forever to be able to give this wisdom to her, and I thought that was kind of a good thing, and it made me think a little bit because the elves are, for as far as I'm aware, if anyone wants to tell me if I'm wrong, but I thought they were immortal. Like they don't die, they just never age, you know. So I was a bit concerned about that as to why. I don't think he's pondering his death or his end of life existence. I didn't know what I was getting from that. Like he said, I'm not going to always be around. So
I mean, I think he knew that there was a war coming. I mean, that's how they die. Like you said, they're pretty much immortal though because they'll live forever unless they get killed.
And then the next thing we see is one of the best scenes. It instantly just made my eyes just went because it was Valinor. We see the wide shot of Valinor and we see the two trees of light, and it is just, I even wrote in my notes, Amazon, usually you fuck up with my delivery, but you didn't fuck up on delivering this, because this is bloody fantastic. I can understand now why they charge so much for Amazon Prime, because all those subscriptions, that's why we're getting 60 million per episode, I think. It's crazy, like that when you actually break it down, 60 million per episode.
Yeah, even when we get to the next scene when they're fighting, it's like it's so clear. Like again, think back to like Game of Thrones when they're battling the White Walker. I mean, Jesus, dude, you can't even see anything, And here it's so clear and bright and just looks cool, and you can tell the difference. That's for sure.
We then hear adult Galadriel say that elves have never had a word for death. They thought that their light would never dim. And then we kind of get like a montage, and she says that. Well, we then see that we see the two trees shriveled and dying with a silhouette of a dark, ominous figure above them, and that leads into the story of where this is going to probably be going. And it's from what happened with Sauron's old master, and then moving forward to him. Next, we hear more narration from Galadriel, and she tells us that the Legion of Elves went to war following Morgoth to Middle-earth. So, and in that scene, we have loads of boats, and we see eagles in the sky as well, which is a nice cool shot forward to Lord of the Rings. It was really good. And there is another cool shot to that as well later on, because in Lord of the Rings, we see the eagles winning against the flying fell beasts. And in this version, we don't see them winning. So I don't know if it's a similar story that they're talking about, or if it's a different war. But next we get something that fans of my breakdowns on the channel now, we get something that I was super happy to see. And I don't know about you guys, but we got maps. Like, how cool is it to get maps on the show, showing us where we're going and what we're doing. I love that, because the world is so vast. And as soon as I seen that, I paused the episode and I went looking on the internet, and I currently can't find an online interactive map like we have for House of the Dragon. Yeah. But if anybody is listening and does have that power or knowledge of where one is, please definitely connect us both, because we definitely need that kind of stuff for breakdowns. Then we see scenes of battle, a fell beast or possibly a dragon taken down by a great eagle, or taking down a great eagle, sorry. To that, I think it's a good flip to what we see in Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, as I just mentioned then. James Hewitt just popped in and said never watched the series and won't. I appreciate you stopping in and letting us know. I definitely wanted to pick it up afterwards. They were both very highly talked about shows, going into especially Lord of the Rings, House of the Dragon, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I definitely promised my fans watching and listening that we would at least attempt to break it down. So did you get many callbacks from this sequence, Headless, for Lord of the Rings?
From the original series, you mean? Like the original trilogy?
Yeah, from the original trilogy. Because we saw the fell beast, like I said, we see the eagles fighting. We saw a big elven war.
I mean, the fighting scene, sure. Dude, honestly, like I don't even remember any dragons or anything in the show. Like in the movies, like I know in the prequels there was the big dragon. I can't remember his name right now, but um,
Smaug.
yeah, yeah,
But
I
I'm
don't
just saying,
remember.
like dragon-like character. It was like a fell beast. It was like the ring wraith. You know, when the ring wraith leader is flying around on the Nazgul.
Yeah, I
Which is,
remember. Yeah, I know those guys.
yeah, yeah. So similar to that kind of character or creature, I would say.
But so they were. See, man, I don't remember. I don't remember them at all, honestly. Again,
Okay.
it's been such a long time. It's been probably close to 20 years for me. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen these movies. It just has. Um,
Yeah, I get that. I haven't seen Lord of the Rings myself for a good
yeah,
10, maybe 12 years.
because I
So
knew,
I
I
think maybe
knew,
it should be something we should watch.
yeah, I knew we would have callbacks and everything. But yeah, it felt Lord of the Rings though in the fighting. So
Yeah, yeah. And then we cut to the next scene where we see Gladriel and she's on a mound of helmets and stuff.
yeah,
And the narrator, the older Gladriel, says that we now have many words for death. Like literally at the start of this monologue, she said that the Elvens didn't have a word for death. And then at the end of it, they now have many words for it. So they understand they went through a hard time and they've probably lost a lot of people. And then we've got Air Spider just popping in, saying hello. Welcome, Air Spider. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody, for being here and hanging out. I appreciate the little group of people that we've started to create on a Monday night. It's really awesome. I'm probably going to say Galadriel's name 100 times in this episode, guys. So please just bear with me. She then explains to us, Galadriel, that orcs are spreading to every kingdom under the servant Sauron. And we get to see, for the first time in the episode, Lord Sauron standing on some evil stage looking area, and he looks really cool, and it just instantly made me feel like, oh wow, I'm into it now, you know, this is the bad guy. So yeah, like who would you say is the biggest bad guy in this franchise, Headless, if you were to choose? Like a lot of people might say Gollum, a lot of people might say Sauron or Frodo himself. I don't know.
I would say Sauron.
Sauron, yeah.
Yeah.
Sauron and the Eye and Mount Doom and all that kind of stuff, you know, with the
Yeah, I
orcs.
mean, I always thought of Gollum as, not misunderstood, but like he just got corrupted, right? And Frodo, I mean, I don't see him as a bad guy. Same kind of stuff happened to Frodo, but he was able to beat it with the help of his friends.
Then we see some shots of screaming, sinking people, and it was like a red water signifying blood, I'm guessing. And I'm guessing because when I was looking at the map, we don't see the Isle of Balerion. Now I know this is probably going to sound quite funny to you, Headless, because that's the name of a dragon in House of the Dragon, and this is an actual area in the realm called Balerion, and it sank because that's where all the war was happening, and it actually sank. And we didn't see that in the credits or in the opening scenes or anything like that. It would have been a nice callback if they'd have done that. But I think when we seen the people sinking with all the red blood everywhere, I think that was to signify that was where that was and that was what was happening. So I was kind of happy with that. But yeah, it's just crazy what's going on. So then we pick up a present day, and it looks like Galadriel and her company are the last ones on her mission. So they're climbing up this massive wall. Another shout to Game of Thrones. I can't get over all these little nuanced things that I'm getting in my head when I see them. It's like I need to get it out, but I unfortunately can't because I'm Game of Thrones for life and always will be probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, just that scene when she's climbing up, I instantly I forgot I was watching a TV show. I thought I was in a video game with the high quality, and it looked amazing.
Yeah, it definitely brought callbacks to when Johnny and Eager and all those guys are climbing up the wall. But yeah, that was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool scene. It looked, like I said, it looked great. I mean, there's nothing you can complain about the visuals. I mean, it's like you said, it looks like movie quality, and when you spend that much money per episode, like you said, that's what you're going to get too. But it's awesome that they delivered on that. But yeah, that was a good scene, and it still kind of kept you in the episode. Like, okay, what are we going to see next? I mean, yeah, it was good. I liked it.
Yeah, they were on the mission up north, and they were hunting for the lost fortress of Sauron. And they go inside when they find it, and Gladriel discovers a covered pathway. And here, I wanted to see maybe some elven magic used instead of just brute force. Like
Mhm.
she finds a hole. I think it would have been I think it was a missed step on the storyline's progression. They could have showed us her using some elvish magic, to break down the wall or to do something with it. I think that was definitely a missed opportunity for me. What about anybody else that's seen the episode, that's in the chat especially? Did anyone notice that part? It could have been cool if we'd have seen some magic or something.
We didn't really see a lot of magic at all, really.
No, yeah, we didn't.
Instead of them,
So go ahead.
instead of them like dropping, instead of them pouring the water on it, on the symbol. It would have been nice.
Yeah, that's literally what I'm about to say now. She sees a symbol that Sauron burned. Oh, did I go past that? Yeah. So Gladriel takes up her. No, where am I? Present day.
I think we skipped the troll thing because I think the troll was before that. That's probably where you were going.
Oh yeah, definitely. Gladriel takes up her brother's mission. It takes his dagger and sees a symbol that Sauron burned into Finrod, a symbol that even the wisest couldn't discern. They pick up to present day where she's at the fortress. They go inside and Gadriel discovers a covered pathway where I wanted to see elven magic. There we go, I've caught up.
Mm-hmm.
Inside there is an orc sort of melting into the wall, and we are told that they were meddling with powers of the unseen world. So in Tolkien's writing, I've got a little bit here that I wanted to explain the seen world and the unseen world. So in Tolkien's writing, there are two worlds, the seen and unseen. Most of what the viewers see and read in the books is from the seen world. The unseen is inhabited by likes of wizards, elves, and likes of who were born and lived in Valinor. So characters like Gadriel, Gandalf, they exist in both seen and unseen. The ring wraiths in Lord of the Rings also exist primarily in the unseen world, which is what Frodo sees when he puts on the ring, and it's like he's transported into another world. So that to make that connection for everybody, when she said that, the orc was stuck to the wall. It was like Sauron was meddling with trying to bring creatures from the unseen into the seen, and that's what that was all representing, basically. A little bit confusing, and it's all deep.
It's a lot.
It is. And then Gladriel pours water on the mark to reveal Sauron's mark. She says that she wants to continue north, and we get dialogue first saying that she can see and still feel the light of the trees, even though they've been diminished for quite a while. And then finally some action. Like finally, I don't know how long we were into this episode, but we got a bit of action. Like it wasn't flashback action, it was actual something that happened in present day, which I thought was pretty cool. And it was the troll. Beware the troll in the dungeon, as what's his name from Harry Potter would say when he comes running into the room. Beware the troll in the dungeon. If anyone's seen Harry Potter. Gladriel kills it with a very underwhelming, in my opinion, very underwhelming effort and kind of silly way to kill it. Like I was like, oh, really? Is that it? What do you think of the fight scene?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't like how again, I get it. She, there was a big time jump. She took over for her brother, but all of a sudden she's like the best warrior in the world, and it's just, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess it is what it is, but the fight scene was definitely underwhelming for me too.
Yeah, it felt like they were just rushing through it all to get to the Harfoots, I think, but we'll get there real soon.
Yeah.
So next, Galadriel's company stands up to her, putting down their swords and saying, if you want to go north, you're going to go alone, because we've come all this way with you to find this fortress, and now you found it, you want to go continue finding something else. It's like, where's it going to end? You're probably just going to end up dying or doing something stupid, and we're all just going to have to deal with it. So I understood why they were doing that. Then she says, which is a very good point, which I believe connects to the end of the episode, and she says something that she says it is so evil in this place that there is no warmth coming from our torches or our flames. And I kind of held on to that and then foreshadowed it for the future at the end of the episode, which we'll get to later. But yeah, it was a bit strange. Then map time again, and we're off to the land of Harfoots, which is a nice green meadowy area. It's like we're back in Hobbiton. We're going to see some hobbits, and I thought, oh my god, like, yes, we're going to finally see some familiar, funny people that I used to really enjoy from the show. But no, we are introduced to the Harfoots. They are a descendant of hobbits. so they don't quite look like hobbits. And I think they're only called the Harfoots because they have hairy feet. It is literally the reference. Harfoot, hairy feet. It's just for everybody to know. We will see how they live and how they hide from the tall folk, or the humans, as we know them as. But to them, they're smaller, so they see people as tall and they hide from them. And I kind of got like a... What's the vibe I was getting from them? So it was the Lost Boys from Hook. If you've seen the movie Hook.
Oh,
I got the Lost... Yeah, I got the Lost Boys vibes with them.
Wow.
I think it's the one with Robin Williams.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we're introduced to Nori and Poppy. Nori and Poppy. They are the two ladies, the two young actresses that are Harfoots. And then there's a lot of hopping about that happens then. So then we go to the elven home realm of Lindon. And we see Elrod. Now, for everybody who has seen Lord of the Rings and is familiar with certain characters from other movies, Matrix, for example, Agent Smith in The Matrix is the guy that plays Elrod in Lord of the Rings. And we now have a younger version, even though they don't really age, we have a younger version of Elrod in Rings of Power. So I'm super excited to go forward, knowing that he is going to be the leader of the elves when we get to Lord of the Rings. He's the guy that brings them all around to have that meeting about the ring and to make them all go and protect Frodo. He's that guy. So, you know, it's pretty cool that we get to see him. Nadia comes in and goes, "Bangarang." Definitely. I love that film. Definitely a great film. So then Galadriel is there and she rushes to meet her friend Elrod. We find out that they're quite close with each other, and she tells him about her mission and how she wants to continue to do it. But we do find out that they have been granted passage to sail west, which is kind of like it's a righteous thing that's given to them for forever life, you know? I don't know what it kind of is. I got it as like it was a kind of humane destruction, possibly. That you go there and then you're forgotten about, but you live forever in the thoughts of everyone, maybe, you know? How do you partake that sailing to the west kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you said. You know, I thought that scene was really good too. So the guy who's kind of in the lead right now, so he is not in Lord of the Rings.
Elrond.
Not Elrond. Elrond is the other one, the one who puts a crown on her.
Mm-hmm. So you're on about her brother, Finn. What's his name?
Who are we talking about?
So I'm not 100% sure on who you're asking me.
The guy who puts a crown on Galadriel, the older elf, the one who actually puts a crown on her.
That's the king, Gilgud.
Yeah, the king. So is he not in Lord of the Rings then? Because
no.
man, he looks so familiar. Okay, I wasn't sure. I kept thinking he was. Okay.
No, so I don't believe he is. He could be. If I'm wrong, people in the chat let me know. But I believe that he's not in it.
Yeah, I just thought he looked like one of the other guys that we saw, but no, I mean it makes sense because it moves the story forward again. Because we have to keep doing this, but you can tell that she was pissed because she's like, "Whoa, I just want to continue my search," So you could tell that she wasn't very happy about the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Johnny Funko just popped in along with Kenneth Bird. So, hey, Kenneth Bird, thanks for stopping in, buddy. Hey, Johnny, how you doing? He says, "Hey, Ryan. Hey, Headless. Thanks for being here, buddy. I appreciate you." So, yeah, did you notice as well, Headless, that another scene that we're just going to come on to, we see Galadriel is in a forest where there is images of fallen elves in the trees. Did you see that the foremost front one was her brother?
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, you made that connection? Okay.
Yeah.
Because on the first watch, I was like, hang on a minute, Elrod isn't her brother that we just met at the beginning. They all look pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good and pretty confusing. She says that she wants to keep pursuing her dream or passion or mission to find Sauron and to destruct him. Probably that's her mission. Mm-hmm. Next, we go to the Southlands where we are introduced to Arondir. Now, Arondir is a stoic elf-like figure. He's a black guy in color, and he is a non-canon character. He was completely created for this show. I think
Okay.
he is gonna be portrayed as he's gonna do all the fancy flippy shit that Legolas did. You know, he's gonna slide downstairs on a shield, and
Yeah.
if you've watched The Hobbit, like step up things that are physically impossible to step up, like one of those. Remember that scene where he steps up the rocks and they're all falling? It's crazy. So yeah, then we're going to move forward, guys. There's loads of names in this people, and there's
So
loads of new people that we're meeting.
what about Bronwyn? Is she made
Yeah,
up
literally
too?
my next statement. Yeah, he seems to be friendly with Bronwyn.
So is she made up too?
No, Bronwyn's in the show.
So she's in the
I
book or
believe her
whatever.
character's in the books. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
And we may, I don't know, I got in my notes here that we may see an elf-human coupling, which is a rare thing that is, we are told by Arendor's elf friend that over the years, whenever an elf and a human have been together, it has always ended in devastating effect. And then we see later down the line that Aragorn and Arwen were elf and human, and they got together in Lord of the Rings, which is, foreshadowing again forward, which is another good thing. Then we see Bronwyn is given a cow, which I didn't understand this thing at all. Bronwyn is given a cow that instead of having milk, it has black goo.
I had no clue what was going on there.
Neither did I, dude.
I just thought it was like poisoned, or I don't know what was going on with that.
I assumed, jumping forward, we see the leaf later and it's got black goo on the leaf. Maybe that's something to represent it. I don't know. I really don't know. So then we see two kids go into a barn. One shows the other kid this black sword shard, and it looks really ominous and crazy. And the kid mentions that Theo's dad left. Well, maybe we'll get something about that in episode 2. I'm not 100% sure. The sword has Sauron's mark on it, though, which is, slowly introducing Sauron into this story and into everybody else's understanding of who he might be. And it's crazy. It really is. It's really crazy how it's so intricate and detailed on the show. So, what are your thoughts up to this part of this episode?
I just thought it was strange that the sword was like just randomly placed inside this random house, and not even that hard of a place to find. Like I'm like, okay, so like that they just happen to be there. Like I maybe hopefully they'll explain it, because that was weird to me. The whole cow thing.
I do hope they explain it.
Yeah, the whole cow thing, I was just super confused on. Again, it just seemed like a plot device to move it forward for them to go, to try. I don't know. I mean, at this point, I was just like, okay, I'm just kind of watching, and I'm like, hopefully they'll figure something out, and not more information will be given to why they're actually doing what they're doing. But I don't know. I mean, I like seeing the sword because I'm like right away I recognize it, so I like that. And then in episode 2 we get a little bit more action with that too, which is really cool. But so far I was still okay with it. I just thought some of it was like weird the way it happened, I guess, because I just thought like you're finding a sword by lifting up a plank, and and it just happened to be in their house. So I don't know. Hopefully we can figure more out about that though.
Yeah, definitely explain maybe how it got there, why it's even there, what even is significant it holds to the story.
Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty crazy.
What would be cool or something would be like if it was linked to why the cow was like that, because the sword was so close. But like, I don't know. Then why would more not like more? Why would that be the most evil thing it would do? So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The only understanding I got for the cow was that earlier in the episode, or just at this point in the episode, we see the black elf dude in the bar, and he's talking about how the grass was poisoned.
Oh, okay. See that I didn't even.
Then the cow eats the grass, and then
that makes sense then. Yeah, so that makes sense. So that's probably
Umpty says you will find out for sure. Umpty says you will find out for sure.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's good to hear, because I thought that was pretty lame, to be honest with you. I'm like, why is it there? So that's cool. That I'm glad they go back to it, because what happens at the end of episode 2, I was like, I like it, and I like what I think could happen, but I still didn't like. I didn't like how it was done with the sword being found. But if they explain it, I'm good with it then.
So then in the episode we cut to Elrond and the elves king Gilgalad. That's what I'm
Yeah.
going with. And they're talking about how it is best for Galadriel and Middle Earth for her to sail west. Galadriel hints that they foresaw that she could cause the very thing that she is wishing to prevent, which I thought was quite a good little thing. That obviously she doesn't do this, because we find out at the end of the episode that she refuses. And then we're introduced to Lord of Erisson, Celebrimbor. That's his name, Celebrimbor.
So wait, who is he again?
So he is the dude. Just as we are talking, just as we find out, and we are seeing Elrod and the king's elf, the elves king, talking, and they mention how Galadriel should probably sail west because it's best for them.
Okay.
We are then introduced to a new person who is an elf, and he is the Lord of Erisson, and he is Celebrimbor, and he'll eventually go on to forge the Rings of Power.
Okay.
If I have, do I have the episode up still?
Yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out, like, I know the character and everything, but I just was trying to figure out, like, who is he in the elf group or whatever? Like,
Okay.
Like, is he just an elf, or is he like?
He's Lord of Erisson, which is another connected part of Lindor, the main hub.
Okay, so he's in leadership basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Umty says, did you know the actor who played young Elrod has another part that you saw? No, I didn't. The actor who played young Elrod. No, I didn't notice. So definitely Umty, he says young Elrod. So did you know that the actor who played young Elrod had another part you saw?
What do you mean young Elrod?
Yeah. Umty, could you explain? Young Eddard Stark in the 6th season of the HBO series Game of Thrones.
Oh, it's the same guy? Is it really?
So what? You're telling me it's the same guy that protects that protects Liliana at the castle?
Yeah. Huh.
Umty, I'm ashamed that I didn't catch that.
So it's the same man.
Know the actor? Young Elrod. Okay. Umty, thank you very much for that. It's the same guy. Okay. So yeah, we are at the point where we meet Lord Erisson, Celebrimbor, and he'll eventually go on to forge the Rings of Power. So Gilgalad wants Elrod to help Lord Celebrimbor, that is so hard to say, on a mission of the utmost importance. The one in Ring of Power, he is called Young Elrod because we see him later. Okay. But yeah, because in Lord of the Rings he's Elrod. So in this he's young Elrod. Okay, I get that. So Gilgalad.
Robert Armeo.
Okay.
He is young Ned Stark. Yes, he is. I guess now that I'm thinking back, he does kind of look like him. Oh, yeah. It is him. But now that I'm thinking, he has longer hair in Game of Thrones
and pointy ears.
now he has pointy ears.
Yeah. So then, as I just mentioned, then that the Elven King, wants Elrond and them to help on a mission of the utmost importance. And for me, I took this conversation as the mission probably is to try and protect the world around them, because even though the elves don't age and their area and their technology and that doesn't change, the world around them ages. The trees grow and all this kind of stuff. So I don't know, maybe they were trying to figure out, because in Lord of the Rings, when we get to the Elven City, it looks like it's in a bubble. It looks like it's in a huge bubble and protected from the outside world. So maybe that's what that mission is. Maybe that's what they're talking about when they talk about this utmost mission. I don't know. But then jumping again, guys, back to Bronwyn, and she discovers that there is a village destroyed. And then back to Galadriel, and the elves are sailing west. What did you think to the town being destroyed, Headless? Like ominous, like what the hell's going on?
Yeah, so what town was it again?
So we literally cut to it real quickly, and it's Bronwyn, and
yeah.
Bronwyn finds that town all burnt down.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was the same town or not that we had just met them in. So again, it just happened so fast, and like you said, it's like a blink, and you're like, okay, I guess they'll come back to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
And then we go back to Gladriel.
What town was it?
I don't know the name of the town.
It wasn't the same town we met him in, though, right?
I believe it was like
because I thought later in episode 2 they go back to that same bar or whatever.
Yeah, so I for what I read and understood from listening and watching was that episode 1 we see the town burning, and then in episode 2 we kind of see how it got there, because I think the boy has the shard and the blood goes onto it and it starts going on fire, and then we see him leave. Now, did he leave that in there and it set that thing on fire? And that's how we see the town on fire, because she made a reference in episode 2 that there was no bodies and that they'd all just fallen into the ground.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's how I got that. Cloud. So yeah, as I say, we get right at the end of episode 1 here. We go back to Gladriel, and the elves are sailing west. They're going to do their infamous thing that they always like to do. It's noted that it's like the ever after life, I suppose. We see clouds parting and a blinding light, which was again very good visuals by Amazon. Thank you very much for giving us these things that we can see and break down. We see a meteor crash landing near the land of Harfoots, and Galadriel is torn about her decision. That earlier in the episode, her brother Finrod earlier words of not knowing what light to follow until you've reached the darkness, or until you've touched the darkness and returned to her. She jumps ship, rejecting the call to sail west, and then we end the episode with Nori finding a meteor man in the mist of the fire, and we cut to black. That's 1 hour down, 49 to go. It's so confusing.
There's just a lot. I mean, watching episode 2 and then watching those back to back, like just like one. I mean, I started getting confused in like what I was seeing. I still like episode 2 better, but the first half was good. It was pretty easy to follow. I started getting confused when they started introducing all those other characters, and I didn't know where they were, or and getting the names down was tough. But yeah, it made me watch episode 2. So I mean, it is what it is.
So how would you rate episode 1 from 1 to 10? How would you rate it?
I mean, honestly, like the first half, I would give like a 9. But after watching the second half, I dropped it to like a 7 or 6. Like I did enjoy the first half an hour, and then the second half an hour, I started getting like bored, and I was like, "There's so much," and I didn't even understand what was going on half the time. Like that whole scene with the I totally even forgot about that scene with the burning of the town. Like I didn't understand what that was about.
Mm-hmm. Well, I believe that it was probably what I took from it was that we see that boy in the barn, and the blood goes into that thing, into the shard, and it starts to set on fire.
But wasn't that episode 2 when that happened?
It might have been.
I thought that was like the end of episode 2. That's why I was like, I don't know. Moving on, episode 2. I mean, what did you think about the first episode?
I loved it.
You did love it? Okay.
Yeah, I loved everything about it. It's so detailed. Yeah. It's visually brilliant. And I don't know. I want to keep watching more, but I know I had to stop so we could break it down. Otherwise, it would have just got too confusing.
I guess one of the big flaws I saw in it was I was wondering where the stakes in it was, because I already know that Sauron, whenever we find him, he's not dying. We already know that we already know she's not going to die. And so her just going off on her, wanting to hunt him down. I'm like, okay, great. I'm like, it's not like you're going to kill him. It's not like he's going to kill you. So what's the real stake? And then I kept thinking of Andor. I'm like, well, I know how that's going to turn out. And I don't really care about the other people when they die, because it doesn't matter. And that's my biggest issue with prequels. And not that I was not a fan of Star Wars prequels movies, but they're not nearly as good as the originals, because I already know what's going to happen. I don't know. That's my biggest issue with prequels. Now, House of the Dragon is completely different. And the reason why that's a lot different is because we're talking 200 years prior. And yes, we know how it's probably going to end, but getting there is so much different, because we know these characters are pretty much all going to die. But it's I don't know. It's just the way they structured it and the way they make you care about the characters. I mean, I'm going to be devastated when Rhaenyra dies because I know it's going to happen eventually. It's going to suck. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I understand this is this is pretty far in the past as well, but we're still talking about characters that we know that are in the actual movies. And that's the biggest issue.
Well, at the beginning of Lord of the Rings, we see Sauron slain, don't we? That's the start of the Third Age, when Sauron is slain by Isildur, when he cuts his hand. That's the start of the Third Age. That's the end of the Second Age, which is what we're in now.
We're in right now, right?
Yeah, so the 3,000 and odd years is going to lead to the point where Isildur does what he does and cuts his hand. But I think the stakes for this show are just to give us a visual representation as to how the Seven Rings were created. The Seven Rings, all the Rings of Power, that how they were all created and who they were given to, and the lords and why those lords were who they were.
Yeah.
Like we see the Elven Lord in episode. We see the Dwarven Lord in episode 2.
Yep.
I think he'll be one of the dwarf lords that's given a ring. I believe so. Anyway, it seems like they're building him up as a good character. But yeah, I don't have detailed breakdown for episode 2, guys. We'd be here for another hour if that was the case, and that's not the plan for tonight because it's too detailed to go into. So what we're going to do is that's my breakdown for episode 1 done. As I said in my notes here, the only note I have at the end of this thing is slow. That's what I wrote down. It's just slow. So then we're going to go into episode 2, and we're just going to have a quick, brief thought on our thoughts on episode 2 as a whole. So for me, episode 2 was a one hell of a lot better. Brought me straight in. Like, I was giddy. I was like a child in a sweet shop when we got to go in the caves of the dwarves.
Yeah.
Because I just remember, Gandalf and the Balrog and you shall not pass and, the infamous things that we have from this franchise and the things that we've all remembered for the last however many years it's been. I don't know. I was super excited, and it definitely paid off. I loved it.
Well, you forgot to mention how the episode 1 ended, though, because that's kind of important.
Okay.
With the meteor or wherever it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Meteor Man. Yeah, in my notes here, I had Nori finds Meteor Man in the midst of the fire, and we cut to black.
Oh, you did say that. Oh, okay. That was quick then. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was pretty quick, wasn't it? We see the meteor, and then
that's true. It is the beginning of episode 2 when they go over there. That's right.
Yeah.
Again, I watched them all within and so it's kind of blending. You're right though. So yeah, the beginning of the episode was cool then. So that's pretty much when they go down there, right? That's they kind of pick up where we left off. Mm-hmm. I think.
So who do you think the Meteor Man is? Let's go with that.
Well, like I was telling you earlier, when I first saw it, I thought for sure it was going to be Gandalf.
I did it at first. I thought it could have been.
And after the couple of things you had said, it makes sense. But I still feel like so where is okay? So because you want to tell everybody what you think and who you think it is?
Well, I believe that it's Sauron. I believe it's the human form of Sauron or the physical form of Sauron, because earlier in the episode when she's in Sauron's fortress, Galadriel says that there's no heat coming from the flame because it's so evil here. And then cut to the end of the episode, we see Nori, and she finds the man in the meteor, and she even says, "I'm not getting burned. This isn't hot." Yeah. So is that? I took that as that from the beginning of the episode it's said to the end of the episode it's also said they connect the two. I don't know. And speculate. And Umpty says, I think part of the first season is trying to figure out what you know, and speculate who people are and what their path is into the sequel. Okay. So, Umpty, have you seen past episode 1 or 2? Like, can you confirm or deny whether, like, I don't know. Do you want a spoiler right now?
Not really.
No.
Not really for you to watch it.
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
I mean, we'll find out eventually. I mean,
I'd love it to be Gandalf, but I just don't think it is.
I guess I just don't. Maybe I just don't understand the mythology of like why would he have to go out and become human? Like, what is he right now then if he's not human? And like, why would he have to split that off? Like, I guess that's why I don't understand.
I will not spoil it because the finale is amazing. Thank you, Umpty. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, she's after, and I know they. I mean, everything you're saying is correct though. Like, I understand why, because you're saying, she's hunting him down for how long? They have no trace anymore. And then all of a sudden there's a meteorite and the whole flame thing, not hot. That makes all sense. That makes all a bunch of sense. But like, I guess I just like, okay, so why is he in a meteorite, and why is he becoming human then, and why does he not know how to talk? And
because I believe I took it as he was,
that's like the world of Lord of the Ring world. Like I guess I don't understand, and maybe that's why. That's why right away I thought it was Gandalf, because it just makes sense to me. But but what you're saying makes a lot of sense too, if that's how the mythology works with the with the series.
Yeah. I believed it as him to be like an ever evil presence that was just around, and now he's got a physical form.
Because I mean, he kill the brother or her brother, or technically
that's not but that's not book canon.
That
she takes his mission to go. Like it is said in the show that it's portrayed that was his mission, and that he was facing Sauron, because we see the scratch marks on him and stuff.
Right.
In the book, The Silmarillion, I believe he is captured by Sauron and put in the dungeons, and the wolves in Sauron's dungeon actually kill him and give him the claws marks on his body. That's book canon, but Sauron didn't do it.
Okay.
And then she takes that up upon her, and then it turns into the show storyline that she's now chasing Sauron.
So the people that are following all the orcs that are following Sauron right now, like what do they think they're following then, if he's not like present in there? Like, what is it then? Like, what is he?
Just an evil presence.
Because like in the movies, he looks human, or like
but then
he's a wizard or something.
Yeah, but then but remember at the beginning of the movies, he's a witch king, and he gets his hand chopped off, and then all he is an all-seeing eye at the top of the tower. That's Sauron,
But that happens in the first movie.
Well, it's the start of the towers, isn't it? Yeah, the start of the Fellowship of the Ring.
So Christopher Lee actually isn't even in the movie in the second or third movie at all.
Say that again.
So Christopher Lee is not even physically in the movie in 2 or 3.
Yeah, he is. He's Saruman. He's the wizard, the white wizard that's against Gandalf. Saruman, not Sauron.
That's where I'm getting confused.
Saruman is the white wizard.
See, that's okay. That now this is making more sense, because I kept thinking, I'm like, he's Christopher Lee, right? But he's not. He's the eye. Oh Jesus! All right.
So
again, I haven't seen it in how long. Now it makes more sense.
So Sauron created the rings and made the evil one for himself to control all the others, and then making him the Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
That's the evil dude Sauron that Galadriel is chasing.
So you think the person in the
meteor is Sauron as human form, as physical form?
So it's not Saruman.
Not Saruman, no.
So why couldn't it be him?
It could be.
Okay. So it
could be Saruman.
Because now I'm thinking it's him.
It could be Gandalf, Sauron, but I believe it's Sauron as of right now, from what I got with the evil connotations of fire and not being burnt.
So going back to the movies really quick, because I just want to make sure I understand. So how is Saruman in oh my god, these names? What's his name again?
Saruman is a
wizard.
He's like a Sith. He's like a Sith apprentice to Sauron.
Okay, so they're okay. That makes sense. So this could be. So couldn't this be like? Oh my god, I gotta write these names down because I can't even remember it. So
thank you, Anthony.
Saruman.
Yes, as far as I'm aware, Saruman, the white bearded Christopher Lee character in The Lord of the Rings, he is the physical human form, or does the evil bidding for Sauron the Eye in the movies. In the movies at the beginning, Sauron is the dude in the metal armor that gets his hand chopped off at the very beginning by Isildur.
Okay, so Sauron becomes the Eye. So maybe Sauron. Maybe this is how Saruman is like created.
Maybe it could be Saruman. It could be. But we'll see, I guess.
Okay. I'm going with that. Right now, I'm going to go with that theory.
So
see
you're
what
going
happens.
with Saruman. So you're going with Saruman, and I'm going with
I
Sauron.
think I now I'm starting to like it because I mean it still would make sense with the whole flame thing because they're still both evil.
Mm-hmm.
You heard it here
It does.
first, people. I kind of want to go watch the beginning of Lord of the Rings now, of the first one. I want to
Yeah.
go watch the beginning of that now.
Yeah.
Makes
Well,
me
what we'll
wanna
do
watch
what we'll do going forward is, because the show is so deep, and I clearly made an obvious mistake by saying we'll do 1 and 2 in the same week. Next week we'll break down episode 2 in a bit more detail, and then we'll just go forward with that. How many episodes are in the season?
It's 8.
Is it
But we're gonna do
8?
Willow's in like 3 weeks. Unless you wanna break. Well, let's do back-to-back days then. Unless you want to do like one episode of me on my channel, one episode on your channel, and that'll take us through and get it.
Yeah, we can do that.
I'm not doing any PowerPoints though.
No, I don't expect it. I'll do PowerPoints.
I wouldn't even know what to pick.
Yeah, I'll do the PowerPoints going forward from here. But yeah, if we want to do it on separate channels just to get it done and through, because we are waiting for Willow. That's our next thing.
Maybe we'll do because chat we were gonna do. I don't know. Are you guys even interested in this? So we were going to do the Walking Dead series finale on my channel on Sunday. Is anyone even watching that still? Like, I don't want to do something that like nobody cares about. It seems
I'm
like
watching it.
well, I know you're watching it, but like if nobody else in the chat's watching it, we could just talk about it ourselves and not really bring it up. But I don't know if anyone else is even watching it. But I don't like this is way more detailed than I thought it was going to be, honestly. Like I knew it was gonna be detailed, but Umpty says, what is it? Or maybe we do like a 10-minute little brief thing, just our final feelings of the episode, and then
I thought you were going to say 10-minute brief thing of the whole show as a start. I was like, that's impossible.
No, like this, like talk about the finale. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone who's watching Walking Dead is gonna watch it. If you're not watching it, then you probably don't care anymore, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe do like a 10 or 15-minute breakdown, and then we'll break down episode 2, and then we can do episode 3 next Monday. Because I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back and rewatch these before my life. So I want to get these names now, and that's what's killing me. So
yeah, I'll have a detailed breakdown of episode 2 in my notes as well. I'll also do a PowerPoint thing, and we can just present that on Sunday.
That's fine. That works.
And then I'll also do a PowerPoint for episode 3 on Monday night. So yeah. So by this time next week, we'll be done with
3
episode 2 and 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's a lot more than I thought it was going to be. But cool. You know what? I mean, it definitely helps me understand it where it's headed to, because it's really getting those names down. Just like House of the Dragon, when we wrote down the first couple episodes of those, man, those names were hard. It was just hard. Now I know them like that for the most part, most of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just a matter of getting, because I have them all written down right now. I'm on this piece of paper right here. So, but I'm going to rewatch it. I think I'm going to watch it with these subtitles on. I didn't watch it with subtitles on tonight. Because I didn't want to force myself to have to keep rewinding, because I want to make sure I got it done. So
yeah, man. I had on House of the Dragon talk. I had a friend today secure me 2 new pops.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he got me. If I can find it, I got
one in the mail today too.
Oh, I haven't got it yet. We're gonna sort it out. But he got me Cyrax.
Okay. Dragon. Yep.
And Damon without the egg.
Oh, okay. So I picked up this guy.
Let me make you big screen. We'll do that. No, we'll do that, and then we'll do that.
So you know what I'm doing with this one?
Yeah, I do know what you're doing with that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it in and get it autographed. I think
you are doing it. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
What kind of quote? Or are we gonna have to wait for the video for that?
For what?
You getting the one with the quote?
I mean, I'm gonna ask him to do it, but it just depends if he does it or not. Because the last 2 I got in from the same place, it's they didn't do it. So
because I think what I was reading, you can have signature and character name. So if you chose not to have the character name, you might be able to have a quote. Because we all know who it is with the character name on the box.
Yeah, but I always like the character name. I mean, although his name is seriously long, I don't know. I may have to email them and ask them. I'll have to email them.
What kind of quote would be a good quote for King Viserys, though? Like I did send one to you in the chat, in a private chat, didn't I? That we've got.
Yeah,
yeah.
I would definitely go with that. It was I will have your tongue for that.
I'll have your tongue for that.
I will have the tongue for that. And then I have Damon because he quoted it. He can keep his tongue. So it'd be pretty cool to display him side by side like that.
Yeah, it would be cool. Yeah, because there was loads of quotes that you could say, like, I'll take the throne today. You can keep out. There were quite a few things that he said.
Yeah.
But then LJ just popped in and said, The Walking Dead is an awesome this show finale. So LJ will probably be there to hang out and listen to us talk about the last episode.
Yeah, I mean, I figure we could spend at least 15 minutes on it and just kind of break it down. And yeah, I mean, we'll see. Do you think Rick is going to show up in the last episode?
No.
You don't think so?
No. If they do, it's stupid. I know a lot of people want him to be there, and a lot of people are expecting him to be in it. Now, without giving any spoilers, like, I genuinely don't think he's going to be in it. They've got this movie or this TV show that they were working on with him.
See, now I want to talk a little bit about what happened last episode, but I don't want to spoil it for anybody who's actually still want to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if you're gonna watch yesterday's episode, I need you to mute for like 30 seconds. 30-second mute if you're still gonna watch yesterday's episode. If you haven't watched it yet, so I'll give you like
5 people watching, so we'll give you a couple of minutes to.
I'll give like 10 seconds just to mute. Just mute for 30 seconds. If I give you a thumbs up, you can come back in. This is if you're going to watch it.
Yeah, spoilers ahead from this point on, guys, for Walking Dead.
For Walking Dead, for the last episode from yesterday. All right, 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. So I was actually disappointed with the episode. You had me all pumped up for it, and my wife's like, "That was it," and I'm like, "I know, no one even died. Some random guy who we don't even know." Now the whole thing with Judith was good,
But
she
got shot.
Yeah, but she's not dead. There's no
she got shot.
There's no way. I guarantee she's not dead. And I don't know how they're going to.
We've got one episode left.
I don't think they're going to do that. That's why I think somehow. You think so, huh?
I'm just saying it right now. Walking Dead is done after next week. I don't think we'll get. Trust me. What happened to Judith?
I know.
When they killed Glenn, says Corey Castle, and Corey Castle's a new name in the chat. So thank you for being here, my friend.
Yeah, what's up, Corey? Yeah, like LJ said, yeah, in the shoulder, and then she's a kid, so she blacks out. I just like if she was dead, they would know already. Like he ain't gonna be carrying her around. I don't think so. And I'll tell you what. And then what's her face? Who gets her arm bit? Dude, I'm so sick of them chopping body parts off. Can we just rip her neck out? Because that character sucks anyways. I was like, just kill her off. Who cares? Nobody even cares about her. I was like, that's so lame. And then I thought
she was killed in the shoulder. She was shot in the shoulder, but I don't know. I just don't think they've got time.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how. I keep looking to see if they announced how long. Let me look at IMDb again. I didn't look since this morning. I was trying to see how long it was going to be the last episode. I don't know if they're going to go.
It needs to be a 2-hour special. It needs to be a 2-hour special.
Here, I'll look it up really quick.
But it's not going to be.
No, it probably won't be. It might be like an hour and 10. That's what I was thinking. So the last episode. Let's see if it's announced yet. So this episode is what? Dude, you don't even want me to tell you what it says.
Just tell me what it says. Does it say 38 minutes or something?
44 minutes.
There you go. And you think you're getting Rick back? No, not a chance.
44 minutes long. I mean, we know who's going to live. I mean, Daryl's obviously living. My wife, yeah. I mean, Maggie, because Negan. I mean, they have their own show coming up. I don't know what Carol. I mean, supposedly she was supposed to go with Daryl, but something happened with that contract or something, and she doesn't want to do it now. So this is probably filmed.
Yeah, but is that not just them thinking, shit, we've already given away that she's in a thingy and she's in the life-changing thing in the last episode, and we don't know how we're going to get around it now because she said she's in this prequel or a sequel, so she'd taken back her words and said that I'm not in it anymore, so that it makes people think, oh, she might die. I
don't know. I guess if all right, so pick what 3 characters you think are going to die. We'll end it like this. Let's do a little preview. So if you had to pick 3 characters that you think are going to die, not who you want to die, who you think.
Ezekiel.
I agree. That's one for me.
And it's going to make me cry, and yet I smile.
I don't care about that character.
I do.
I care more about his tiger that died. The CG, he's horribly CGI
Shiva.
tiger.
Shiva.
Yeah.
Shiva upset me, but no, Ezekiel's one of my favorite characters in the entire show. His monologues and his line, and yet I smile. Fantastic.
Nice. So Ezekiel, I agree with who?
Judith.
I disagree with that. All right, so Ezekiel, Judith, and who? Pick one more. I'm sure
Gabriel.
Yeah, you think Gabriel?
Yeah, Gabriel.
See, I like Gabriel. I used to hate Gabriel, but now I like Gabriel. I thought
you were just watching it because it's got stormtroopers in it.
Stormtrooper. Well, I feel bad for that with the big guy. I thought he was going to die last episode. The leader, I can't remember his name, but
I can never remember.
Yeah,
I gave up a couple of seasons ago, and then I just caught up again.
I mean, obviously, what's her face is going to die, like the main villain. She's going to die, but I'm not counting her in my top three, my three. So I think it's going to be Gabriel. I think it's going to be what's his face, Aaron. I think he's going to. I think he's going to end up saving Ezekiel, Aaron. I think one of them will end up probably trying to save somebody. And I don't know. I mean, I just think it's going to be like one of those other characters. Like, there's like so many just like randos. Like the dude from, what is that movie? The ping pong movie. What's that dude's name? He's the comedian. Oh man, but he was in Balls of Fury. Who is Chad? Help me out. What's his name? It's not Danny McBride. It's oh my gosh,
LJ will know.
Oh,
I'm drawing a blank. Names are not my forte at the moment.
Oh, what is his name? I'm not even thinking of his name from the show because I don't even know. I'm thinking of his name in real life. He's like the comedian. I was shocked when he was in the show.
Josh McDermott.
No, not McDermott. No, the dude. He got stuck. He didn't get to get in the trailer today or yesterday. He tried to make it to the trailer and he didn't make it. He kept going. All right, I'll look it up.
I can see his name in my head.
I'll look it up right now.
Dan Fogler.
Yes. From Balls of Fury. I think he's gonna die. But again, there's a couple different minor characters that could go. So, but that would be my three.
Yeah, Luke.
It could be like one of the deaf girl or her friend. Part of me, who I think it could be too. Honestly, it could be Negan's wife and kid, because she's not going to be in the Maggie and Negan show, so it could be her, and that would be a little bit sad because she's pregnant. So keep that one on the back burner there.
They could end it with Negan utterly distraught. Yeah. That might be a good ending for the show because of what he's already done in the past. I don't know. I just think that Walking Dead has been fantastic, but it's been on too long. And they have written themselves into the cursed fable halls of bad endings to fantastic shows, because they, in my opinion, they cannot save themselves. They haven't got enough time. They need to bring Rick back. They need to do all this stuff, and without Rick ending this show, I don't think it should deserve to shut. Like, Rick starts it, Rick should end it, and if he's not able to end it, then what the hell's going on?
I mean, maybe here we'll throw out this crazy theory. Maybe they're gonna be, they're stuck in that like area. They're like going down that one like little alleyway. They're stuck. Rick's gonna come in that helicopter and just take them all up. Dude, I don't know if I would be happy about that either, though. That'd be kind of lame, but I can see that. That's one way to end it. All right, we're done talking spoilers. All right, you guys are good if you're
flying off into the distance. Walking Dead was created in Kentucky. If you didn't know that, look up the creator. Yeah. I get great. But yeah, guys, an hour and 15 minutes of live. We've been breaking down episode 1 of Rings of Power. As I said, we'll probably be going to be going there and back again, which is a famous line from the shows. I think this week I'll probably watch Lord of the Rings, maybe the first Lord of the Rings movie, and just put myself back into that world. Although I know when I say I'm going to watch the first Lord of the Rings, I really mean I'm going to binge 1, 2, and 3, because that's how I do it. Like, Lord of the Rings is just a bingeable weekend for me. LJ goes, yeah, I know MT, and I have met the artist of the first 15 comics. He's a cool dude and signs up comics to 15 for free, and he did it when I met him. Nice. LJ.
Yep.
But yeah, Headless, thank you for being here. Thank you for breaking down episode 1 and your partial thoughts on episode 2. I appreciate you. Can't wait to do it again on Sunday on your channel. Again, I'm still so far behind with content. It's unreal. My PC is playing up, so I need to remove a little bit of probably stuff I shouldn't say, but I need to remove so much more stuff on my PC because I'm running out of space, and my editing software is on my C drive. So when I edit, it's taking too much resources. So my editing software keeps crashing every time I open a timeline. So that's why there's no new videos out yet, because I'm trying to fix my PC before I completely give up on my editing software and have to get a new editing software, because I'm sure people know the horrors that might cause with all my saved for videos from through the years I haven't yet worked on and haven't yet completed. I'll lose all of them if I change editing software, and I don't want to do that.
Okay, that makes
so
sense.
Everybody, please stay with me. Please stay connected to my channel. Please just understand that I'm going through some technical difficulties right now with the video aspect of the channel, but hey, I can click a button and go live and talk with you all anyway. So I appreciate you. Headless, I appreciate you too. Thank you everybody that's been here in the chat. LJ, Umpty, everybody that I have already said and spoken to, and all the newcomers as well that came in. Thank you for being here. Please like, subscribe, connect to my channel and Headless's channel. He is linked in the description of this live video and will be after the fact also. Headless, what you got coming up this week?
I'm going to be. So it's funny. I thought I was done with con season, and I just bought tickets to go to GalaxyCon in Columbus, actually in Ohio, and I feel like I need to go meet Rosario Dawson. Being a Star Wars fan, I'm a big fan of her too. I thought she was great in Clerks 2, and she's in a couple of other movies that I've seen, and so I just feel like she's only 2 hours away from me, and so I ended up buying a ticket for that. So I'm going to drop a video probably tomorrow, just going over the guest list of GalaxyCon Columbus, and so that'll be coming out tomorrow. There's no NFT drop. So there's no NFT videos, even though I'm itching to buy a couple more standard packs of those Game of Thrones to get that Grail before I dish out that. Dude, those are up to like 280 again. You know that? The Danny Grail. I can't do it right now.
Like, I just don't ponder for it because it's out of my reach. So I just let it be.
I wish I would have picked up one for 220 when I had the chance, but I just I wanted to wait it out. But I mean, it'll probably come down again a little bit. But
LJ the Geek is in Columbus. Heard he sounds.
Oh, you live in Columbus?
LJ, do you live in Columbus? If you're still here,
dude,
I know we dropped from 5 to 3, so
there's still tickets available, man. I just bought it. Use Galaxy 10 for 10% off your order. Think of that promotion.
There you go.
Dude, I'm kind of pissed.
Not sponsored.
Yeah, right. I'm kind of pissed at GalaxyCon. This is now twice I've applied for press, and I've got denied twice. It sucks. It's nice to be able to go to these cons. It's press, and you go for free at least. Because I've done that like 3 or 4 times. That's why I go to so many, because I can usually get press. GalaxyCon is a tough one to break into for some reason. I don't know why. The guy's a stickler. Whoever runs that. But yeah. I mean, whatever. It is what it is.
So what you got coming up on the channel next? What's coming up?
So yeah, I have the GalaxyCon video coming tomorrow. Yeah, I'll do that one tomorrow. I got my live on Sunday with you. We'll do episode 2. And I'm sure
half an hour talk about Walking Dead.
Yeah, we'll do Walking Dead. We'll do like 2040 or something like that. We'll break it down. And there'll be another video out probably Thursday or Friday. I usually post at least 2 when it's a slower week. So I still have a couple ideas for House of Dragon videos too. So.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. So I have a live tomorrow night. It's the Horseman live, and we're going to be opening up 10 packs of Pokemon cards. We got 6 Brilliant Stars for anybody that knows what they are, 1 Lost Origin, and 4 or 3 Astral Radiance. We're going to be doing Pokemon battles with the Horsemen. It's going to be a great night. Milky's hosting. Always is a fun night. Every night, but especially when I'm hosting, because I'm in charge, and I like being in charge. Guys, my name has been Ryan Milky. You can catch me everywhere on YouTube, Instagram, and in Scotland if you come and visit. But yeah, we've been breaking down Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, episode 1. with a little bit of detail into episode 2. But next time you'll see me is on Headless Ned Stark's channel on Sunday, and we'll be doing episode 2, and then we'll be back again Monday next week to do episode 3. And we're going to get this thing done, and we're going to roll through. And at the end of it, I might choose to sail west myself, because what's west of Westeros? What's west of... all these shows go west, and
They do
I'm
go
in
west.
the UK. I'm in the UK, and if I go west, where does that take me?
Well, eventually it's going to take you to America.
It's going to take me to America.
Yep. If you go
So
east,
all these things are west.
If you go east, you can get to America that way too, though.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. Get that way too. It just take me a bit longer.
A little bit longer. Depends what side of the continent you want to get to.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Thank you everybody for being here, and we've been an hour and 20 minutes. I am going to do a little video thing that we can play. It's nothing in reference of anything that we've been talking about, but it just means that I can press the end button and I have an ending. So we'll go with this.
I'm not dead. Yeah, he says he's not dead. Yes, he is.